We regulate the liquor industry, gambling industry.
Oh, you regulate liquor?
Yes, I do. So
we need great joy in all school feeding schemes.
Can you hear Edwin Sodi picking up a call right now? You just heard. There's a
partnership.
Aye, Edwin, he doesn't look focused.
All the Bowen properties, if they were given to a comrade, you'll be lucky if there was even a toilet.
It's gonna be ball loose. Gonna be ball in.
South Africa's worst enemy is South Africans themselves.
Yeah, that's true.
You've proved it.
No, you know why? Because you
so represent South Africans.
So let us speak. You've had your time.
You've proven that.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Welcome to the biggest podcast in Africa, biggest podcast. We're going for the world now.
We're going for the world.
Going for the world, man.
Yeah. So in celebration of Women's Month, we've got a special guest in the building today. Please make some noise for the Gauteng MEC for Economic Development, Mrs. Tazneem Motara. You gotta be the prettiest MEC of all time, bro. Hey, so don't you think so?
Bro, I was touching look, I'm like, hey, bro, I'd hit on you if I saw you like, say I was single. Say I was single, right? Now you're married, but I wouldn't know that you're married, obviously. Okay. But then I would hit on you. Like, if I saw you, I would hit on you. And there's never been an MEC or politician,
you know what I mean?
that I'd look at and go, I would hit on them. And I wouldn't hit on you because you're an MEC. I would hit on you because I don't know what you do for a living and I'm there buying bread. You know what I mean? And I see you and I'd be like, yay. I don't want to give away my grocery moves, you know, but yeah, I'd pull them out.
You get that a lot? Like, dude, people hit on you.
Yeah, people hit on me. That's how I got married, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't have found a boyfriend if he didn't hit on me. But I guess I do. I do get it.
Yeah, what about other MECs?
What about them?
Do they hit on you?
No.
For real? Is that like a no-no?
No, well, they're my colleagues, I guess. I think maybe across party lines, maybe yes. The problem with like lots of co-MECs and co-politicians, we've been together for such a long time. Yeah. We've like literally grown up together. So they become like your brothers. And,
that's what Dudu and Soul say. They're colleagues, by the way, as well.
She's our producer. And also, it's fascinating. You like all politicians dye their hair, but mostly avoiding grey. But you're the only one who dyes it grey.
Yes, well,
a lot of them dye them black.
It was lighter than this. It was like light grey, but it's high maintenance. So I'm like trying to go back to black, but not shock the system.
I see a bit of blue. Is that like?
Yeah, it's like blue-black. They call it blue-black.
Oh, is this blue?
It's called blue-black.
Blue-black.
Oh, blue-black.
Nice.
That's what it's called.
Wow.
Tell me something. So, MECs are not allowed to date?
No, they can. Of course they can.
Nah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
They do. You mean like date each other?
Yes.
Yeah, you can. It's not like an unethical thing. Unless you like married and, cross other lines. But you can. But it's not common.
It's not common.
Yeah, it's not common.
And then, like, what is an MEC? I've always wondered. Like, what do you guys do?
Okay, so on paper, we run the executive, the government in the province. So we're responsible for running government departments. There's 10 of us. Each one has a different department responsible for managing the budget, the staff, and programs of your department. That's on paper. Practically, we sit in a lot of meetings.
Tell me if I'm wrong. I always in my head, right? The premier of the province is the president of the province, and then the MEC are the equivalent of the ministers, but of the province.
Yes. So, in fact, in the Western Cape, they call themselves provincial ministers.
Yeah. Because
So it's not an equivalent.
Provincial president.
Yes. So if you had to like think about it that way, but of course there's only one president. But yes, and like I said, in Western Cape they do call MECs provincial ministers.
Oh,
So give me the whole structure. We've got the president, right?
Yes. So national, you've got the president, the deputy president, and ministers.
Okay.
In the provinces, you've got a premier and 10 MECs.
Oh. And then what's the difference between an MEC and a minister?
The difference is ministers run departments at national level. MECs run departments in the province. So some competencies are only national. So like defense, as an example. So you wouldn't get defense in a province. You wouldn't get police in a province.
Minister of Electricity. Electricity, you wouldn't get new one in the province.
In the province, yes. And then you get some what we call concurrent. So you get it in the province and national. And that's what sports, education, economic development. So we work with the ministers.
So who do you what's the word? Not respond, but
report to.
Report to. Yeah,
Is
it
the premier.
The premier.
The premier.
So the president, you've never met him.
No, I have many times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you never report to him or ever have any.
Well, indirectly we do report to him because I guess the president's responsible for government across. So he's responsible for everything that happens everywhere. And then we just have, sort of segregated responsibilities. My direct reporting line is the premier, but ultimately we all report to the president.
So isn't there any conflict between like you guys and the ministers? Let's say you guys are doing a stellar job and then the ministers are letting you guys down, but because to us, we see you guys as a collective. Isn't there like any conflict sometimes? Like, guys, come on, what are you doing, bro?
No. If we're working harder and faster than the ministers, it just forces the ministers to catch up. If the ministers are working harder and faster than us, it forces us to catch up.
Do they actually catch up? Don't they come down to you and say, you are doing a better job as MEC of economic development provincially than I am nationally? So let's say, for example, the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture is giving away millions to Grammy winners or Oscar winners nationally. But locally, sports and culture is doing the right things on the ground with the right people, the kids who are in, acting or whatever, theater and sports. Don't you get that thing from the top that says you're outshining me?
No. So we complement each other. So national space is really about policy, and then provinces are about programs. So ordinarily, provinces would interact more with local communities and that sort of thing. You wouldn't really find ministers interacting a lot with local communities. They're really responsible for overarching stuff, policy stuff, national, state-to-state kind of stuff. So no, we don't get that. But I guess...
Then how would they play catch up if they are administrative more than on the ground?
So how do they play catch up?
You know what vibe I'm getting? She sounds like she's the A student, so she's trying to cover up for the other guys.
No!
Not that dumb.
But we see them every day in Parliament, sleeping.
No. So I think we in Gauteng, let's start there. So Gauteng is really the hub of the country. Everything starts and ends in Gauteng.
Yeah, definitely.
Even gas leaks.
And explosions.
And explosions.
And earthquakes.
Earthquakes.
And snow.
And hot MECs.
We trendsetters in every respect. Every respect. So we've got to get it right in Gauteng.
By the way, what did you think about that explosion in Brie before you continue?
It was scary.
Nah.
Yeah. So I think, so I wasn't in the CBD at the time that it happened. I think I just gotten home. And then on our WhatsApp groups, multiple WhatsApp groups, we just saw cracks on the road and that sort of thing. And then the premier said to us, okay, he's on his way. If any of us are in the area, let's go. And then, so we were all sort of speculating, what is it? I think my first response or my first assumption was that it's illegal mining because we've got a lot of that.
Yes.
So I thought, okay, it's got to be linked, somehow to illegal mining. And then later we actually saw the explosion, the video where you see the explosion and then the crack. Yeah, so very scary. I think very scary.
What was the final conclusion? What was it?
It is a gas explosion. But they're saying it's from an old, very, very old gas line that's no longer in use. I don't know what caused the actual...
So it could still be, because what I'm hearing is because Ecoli Gas were the first to release a statement saying they're not responsible for it. They've checked their system. Doesn't look like there's an explosion or a leak anywhere else. So if it's an old gas system or lines that are no longer in use,
it could happen again.
It could still be Zamas using those old... Because Zamas use old infrastructure, old mining shafts, mining infrastructure that were there.
Yes.
Because I'm thinking if a gas line that is old and not in use anymore, there's no gas passing through it, why would it explode unless someone is illegally using it?
So there's no illegal mining taking place in the CBD, but underneath just in the immediate, the CBD, but in the surrounding areas there is. So I guess it's a science question.
You guess.
I guess it's a science question about some sort of substances interacting with something underground, and then it caused the explosion. But the fact is that illegal mining is causing a lot of problems with our underground infrastructure. Just this week there was a problem in Roodepoort with a lane they had to close. Man, I do traffic on road. I know the road. That road.
I swear to God, in Roodepoort, there's a sinkhole. There's a sinkhole on that road, right?
That road.
Yeah, there's a sinkhole. Come on, man.
That road.
I know the road, bro. See,
that road.
Who knew Kai would benefit the podcast at some point?
Yeah, that road. So,
I'll find it.
It's happening everywhere. So I'm from Benoni originally, and Snake Road, it's one of the main roads across the East Rand, was closed for, I think, almost 2 years.
Jeez.
Because of illegal mining,
Snake
sinkhole.
Road, the one next to Lakeside.
Yeah, sort of.
Sort of. Yeah. I went to school in Benoni. Miles Stoker, that's the road in Roodepoort.
Okay,
it's got a sinkhole.
Yes.
So it's caused by illegal mining?
That's caused by illegal mining. Snake Road was caused by illegal mining. So there's gold mines or abandoned gold mines. They do a lot of illegal mining there. And that road literally collapsed.
I know it's not part of your portfolio, but one would think, I mean, these mines they came in the 1800s, 1900s, made billions, right? And concealing and covering up the mines and the shafts when they leave them would not cost them a fraction of what they've made. Like, why can't they be then held responsible for the illegal mining? Because if you come to a country, you dig up, some are not even South African, you dig up holes and you extract so much wealth from them that barely benefits the majority of the country. It'll be the minority if the stuff isn't shipped out to the Queen to wear on her head. Why can't they just close these things up, and why can't you hold them responsible for leaving? Because a lot of these entrances to these mines are from the old infrastructure and they left them just open like that. Why weren't there, number one, laws to say they must close off these places, conceal them, and now that they have left them not open, why can't we hold the old miners responsible or mining companies?
Okay, so the regime of mining back then didn't force them to. So now, if you have a mining license, part of your license is rehabilitation. It's a
Even
condition.
for the miners, now they're jobless.
So it's rehabilitation and environmental aspects you have to take care of. Back then, there wasn't that regime. So when you're done, you're done. You just sort of pack up and leave. The fact is that, so like you're speaking about the 1800s, those gold mines in Benoni were around the 1800s. The owners, they don't exist, literally.
Their families are still around, though. Their wealth is.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, do you or don't you hold somebody responsible 300 years later.
True.
How?
I can't just slap a white person when I see them. Like,
Please
"Hey,
don't.
You took our leg.
Please don't.
That's the I can't. You're
So
right.
it's practically, it's probably more expensive to try and go after somebody's ancestors or whatever. But we do have to have some sort of government response to it. So I think for me, the big frustration is that national government doesn't have a response. You've got to come in, you've got to remove those people that are they're heavily armed. Many of them, honestly, are foreign nationals. A lot of them illegal foreign nationals. And they are very, very dangerous. So they sort of have their own literal community underground. Police are afraid to get in, but you need more than police. So you need police, Home Affairs, the army, everybody. You get in, get people out, close, and rehabilitate the area.
Who personally, from what you know, because obviously you're privy to stuff we don't know on the ground, who do you think is, because it's local, like you're saying, it's foreign nationals. I mean, I could have a shop and an operation of 10 restaurants, and on the ground it's locals. I mean, it's foreigners who are the waiters. Who, though, do you think is eating at the top? Because you're saying they're heavily armed. Guns are not cheap. The resources, the gases they're using, and a lot of things, the equipment they're using is not cheap. So there has to be someone at the very top who's making a lot of money from these. Because these mines close down because, for example, let's say a mine makes 100 million rands a month. And then they realize that the mine can only yield 20 million rands a month, but their operations are 50 million rands a month. So it doesn't make sense to keep running it. Then they close it off. But if you put illegal miners, you can still make 10, 20, 30 million a month.
Exactly.
So this is really big ranking people. It's not just guys like petty criminals.
No, definitely.
Who do you think is responsible for this whole illegal mining thing we're seeing?
So there's definitely a market for it. So I'll speak about my own experience back home. The foreign nationals that are the ones operating or conducting the illegal mining are from Mozambique mostly and Lesotho. So they extract and they take it back to Mozambique and Lesotho. So we don't know who.
Are you saying at the top it's a foreign national? Because what I was saying is the foreign nationals make up the workforce, but the resources.
But you said
also
yourself
coming from foreign.
But you said yourself that most of the mines were owned by foreigners.
You did say.
No, I didn't.
You did.
I said.
You said they probably don't even live in the country.
Yeah, I'm saying the 1800.
But even now, majority of
the person funding these Lesotho nationals, Mozambican nationals, and some Zim nationals are from those countries.
They could be from anywhere. They could be from Europe.
But there's definitely someone at the top, though, making millions.
I would imagine, yes. There's definitely a market for it. Otherwise, it wouldn't continue. Like the Mozambicans, you must remember, these countries were previously war-torn countries. They didn't do a lot of demilitarization. You have civilians that still have...
That are trained.
Highly trained, but also heavily armed.
So I wanted to speak more about you because I can tell Ghost Lady doesn't know who you are. So let me just...
I am Suel.
Just ask the question, bro. So listen to this, Ghost Lady.
Okay.
Tazneem Motara is a politician who's been the Gauteng MEC for Economic Development since 2022 and a member of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature since 2019. What's the difference there?
Okay, so all MECs are members of the legislature. You first get sworn in as a member of the legislature, and then you get appointed as an MEC. So what happens at national, everybody becomes a member of parliament, and then the president says, you ministers.
Got you. She was the MEC for Infrastructure Development and Property Management between May 2019 and October 2022. From May 2014 to May 2029, she represented Gauteng in the National Council of Provinces. And you're only 40 years old, man. Am I missing anything from here?
No, so that's almost 10 years of being in parliament and being in the legislature.
How did you get into parliament and why did you want to get into politics?
So how did I get into politics? I was born into it. So my family is all of them, political activist. In fact, my dad is currently at the Veterans League conference this weekend.
Wow.
Wow.
So there is. Heavily, very active. I've got a grand uncle who was in exile. So I was born into that.
Nah.
Yeah. So I like saying that it's like being born in the church.
Yeah.
The more you want to run away from it, the more you sort of end up right back there. So I didn't necessarily want to get into politics, but because it was so familiar to me, I ended up right back there. So all of us have been, even my siblings have been involved, active in politics to some extent. I think I'm the only one that's still in formal politics. The rest, different sort of, temperatures, but we've all been active.
So what are your key responsibilities as the MEC of economic development in this province?
Sure. So my portfolio, we're responsible for tourism. We regulate the liquor industry, gambling industry.
Oh, you regulate liquor?
Yes, I do. So
we need great joy in all school feeding schemes.
the premier would hate you. The premier would hate you.
What do you think about what they're doing in Limpopo? Sorry to cut you off.
So, okay, so...
We spoke about it last week,
Yeah, we did. Yeah, they want a cart of alcohol
up until midnight,
Yeah.
yes. Okay, so...
curfew.
So my responsibility is to make sure that the economy grows.
Okay.
And the economy must grow in Gauteng.
Okay.
So we've got to attract investment, private sector investment, make sure that public sector investment gets spent, what do I think about alcohol being sold after 12? I think thriving economies across the world are thriving because they operate for 24 hours.
Yes.
So...
In England, we were drinking at 4 a.m.
Yeah, because
in Ghana, we were buying alcohol
at the garage,
filling station.
Because it's 4 p.m. somewhere in the world.
Yeah.
Right?
In Ghana, we were buying alcohol at
the garage.
filling
Yeah,
stations.
don't skip through that one.
ideal.
Don't skip through that one.
Well, that's...
As we got grandeur alcohol free. Garages. What the hell, man?
Okay, no. There was a debate about retailers like Spar, Pick and Pay, those sorts of things. They operate at filling stations. They have got liquor license.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So there was a debate about what can they or can't they.
Oh, for real?
Liquor licenses there.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then we sort of said, no, guys, the combination of alcohol at a filling station.
Also in South Africa, we can get very irresponsible on the roads with alcohol. We know this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but
In all honesty.
a big question is, can you police responsibility? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Right?
so you're for it?
No, I am for. So I don't drink alcohol. I've never tasted alcohol, and that's a choice. It's a conscious choice.
Cool.
It's up to you if you want to drink alcohol at
Sure.
midday.
Yeah, you have to be an adult about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoa, wow. I feel judged.
That's up to you. That's up to you. Okay. No, that's up to you. Okay. But midday here
See
is
what drinking does to you, Sol?
midday here is 6 p.m. somewhere
Sure,
else
sure.
and that sort of thing. Interestingly enough, many countries where there's responsible behavior, it's not policed. It's a cultural thing. It's a behavioral thing. It's in the families. It's what is generally accepted. I think South Africa, we've allowed irresponsibility for a very long time, and we think that policing is going to solve it. No. So if we want to be a globally competitive province, we can't compete if our businesses are closed at 10 p.m. And there's no economic activity happening from 10 to 10. So for 12 hours out of 24 hours, you're not competing with the world.
100%.
You're not competing with the globe. So you'll never be globally competitive. The most successful globally competitive cities and provinces operate for 24 hours.
New York,
Dubai, the whole of Dubai, the whole of the UAE, the Middle East, China,
100%, yeah.
Singapore, thriving small country. Everything runs there for 24 hours a day. So you have more jobs. You have
100%.
When New York opens, you are awake.
So when you say this, when you bring it to their attention, what do they say?
First, you must fight labor because... no, I think it's a mindset. So, if you make make a lot more noise and more people make the same noise, people will start saying, oh, well, okay, maybe there's a need for it. McDonald's was one of the first to operate for 24 hours.
Yes, look how well they're doing.
They are. And their biggest competitors followed suit. So, of course, yes, they initially with the 24-hour operations, they served a particular market. Like some of us, when we come out of the nightclub, you're hungry and you need food.
And it slaps at 4 a.m.
Any food slaps. I'm a pile when you're sober, what is this?
So I don't drink, but I mean, I was once a young South African who went to clubs. Yeah, so when the sun is rising and you're driving home, McDonald's is the best tasting food. But on any other day, you're not going to necessarily choose 100%, McDonald's, right? Their biggest competitors had to follow suit. Now you have bigger retail. Now you have 24-hour forecourts at filling stations.
They all follow suit. That's why it's a suit.
Okay, I don't know about that. But, for think about people, think about the working world. So somebody works, they knock off work at 5, and as a mother, woman, and I need to go home, and I need to stop on the way to buy groceries or whatever. It's inconvenient if the store closes at 6 p.m. Because so what happens now? Okay, yes, we use e-commerce and that sort of thing, e-platforms. But if I'm a working mother, I can get home, be with my kids. When they go to sleep, I can go and do grocery shopping at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
At leisure, freely, no problem. We don't have that option.
Hey, but that sounds dangerous in Joburg, man. Shopping at 10 p.m. as a woman.
No, but if you have an economy that works for 24 hours, you have more jobs, you have
more security.
You have to have more security. You have to have more. So public transport has to run for 24 hours a day. So over time, issues such as safety will be addressed and reduced. Okay.
Yes. Because that's when the criminals come out to play, because there's no security.
There's no security.
Yeah.
So, of course, yes, our premier wants cameras all over Gauteng, but I think it's going to help, definitely. Because the
so
more...
we currently don't have cameras.
We do have.
But not everywhere.
Not everywhere.
Okay.
Or they're not working.
They do work. No, those that we have. Okay, hold on.
Load shedding.
Hold on.
Don't know what cause of load shedding.
Hold on. You wouldn't have seen the explosion if there was a camera wasn't working.
They don't have robot camera. That was not a robot.
Okay, you want
camera. It was a shot.
You want a camera working? Does it matter who owns it?
Government can't take credit for private footage.
No. So what we're doing?
Okay, drops mic.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And what are we doing as a province?
But we would like more cameras. I agree with you.
But we're partnering with the private sector.
Oh, I see.
It's a partnership with the private sector.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's
so
beautiful.
we don't have money for days.
Yeah.
Even though people think we do.
Yeah.
Yes, we don't have money for days, but we have some. Private sector has some. The roads belong to government, and then we agree. Okay, you put your cameras here, we'll put our cameras here, and then they all feed into a single system.
Can you hear Edwin Sodi picking up a call right now? You just heard. There's a
partnership.
Edwin, he doesn't look focused. He's a camera himself. Focus.
So your homework, Tazneem,
Yes.
is to get us alcohol to be sold 24 hours in the garages, and for the economy to run 24 hours. That's your homework. You're gonna do that for us, all right?
She'll push it.
Okay, I can push that the economy runs for 24 hours.
Alcohol, you're not so sure.
What gets sold? Okay, you'll have to like really convince me. I think I would support it if we had a generally responsible society.
Okay.
Yes.
So, but the problem is you have pens down, even even primary school kids do pens down now. I mean, pens down in my day it was a high school matric thing.
That we look forward.
Yes, it was like a privilege. It was a privilege to experience pens down. Now, primary school kids, 13-year-olds, and then they have a drinking fest.
Jeez.
So the Eastern Cape situation, it only blew up because the kids passed on.
Yeah.
Yes, and you've been.
That happens, but that happens everywhere. Even in Gauteng.
Yeah.
And it's that's what we've got to first address before you say freely available.
Yeah, because in all honesty, man, like, I mean, remember in Ghana, the people are so calm, responsible.
Very.
We didn't even see a single drunkard causing problems.
Botswana's the same as well.
Actually, exactly.
Our neighboring countries are very safe.
Then the laws can be lax on alcohol, sales and stuff like that. So let's be honest, Panacho, we're alcoholic delinquents as a country. Like, we love alcohol and we love alcohol in this country.
But did you know, interestingly enough, we are not the highest worldwide. We're not the highest consumers of alcohol.
Top 10.
Not even.
Wow.
So the top 10 countries are European countries. But think about it. So if you've traveled a lot, people in Germany drink beer at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but they're very responsible. They drink the whole day, every day, but they're responsible. So comparatively, we're not the highest consumers of alcohol in the world. However, behaviorally, I think we like the bottom of the bottom.
Yes.
Yeah, you got breakfast. Wow.
Yeah.
Work. Boss. Smells of vinegar. Hey, what did you have today? I can smell it. It's vodka, right? Yeah. Then, wow.
Let's get to the most important question, which I think every young person wants to understand and wants to hear. Ghost Lady, you were telling me when we were coming here, what happened with Panyaza? You were listening to an interview with Panyaza, yeah?
Yeah, so I was listening to an interview after they handed out the post, like appointment letters. With this program, is it Nasispan? So what happened is that, what I heard from that is that this program is to be having 6,000 jobs for the next 12 months, right?
Per month?
Per month, until next year, July 2024. But in the first month already, they've received, I think, 1.5 million applications, which obviously shows the problem of unemployment that we're faced with. And so, therefore, it's like, what are the plans to just
narrow the gap.
Yeah, to narrow the gap of what's, because it's very clear that not even 10% within the next 10 months is only 10%, like under 10 will get these jobs that are going to be rolled out. But we still have a huge unemployment problem. So it's quite shocking when I heard that.
So why did we do this? I think the biggest, so one of the things is that the private sector always says to government, okay, show us what you're doing and then we'll meet you halfway, kind of a thing. And we said, okay, if government doesn't create the impetus, if government doesn't do it first, we can't go to the private sector and, hold a gun to their head and say, okay, but you're not creating jobs, you're not employing people. So we felt that government has a responsibility, let's do it first. Definitely. And then we'll hopefully by that action and behavior encourage, especially the private sector, because really private sector creates the more jobs than government could ever.
Definitely.
So what I think the how to narrow the gap is also just to shift how our economy works. So having a 24-hour economy is one of the ways that you can shift that needle, So, for instance, we have certain sectors which can work for 24 hours. The health sector does, so hospitals, yes. But we want to, so we do have a few clinics in the province that run for 24 hours, so we want to expand that and increase that. If you have public service and public sector that runs for 24 hours, you have to have economies that support that to run for 24 hours. What do I mean by that? So if you have community clinics that run for 24 hours, you need a public transport system that must run for 24 hours. Then you introduced shift work. Then you introduce, so if a factory runs for 24 hours, ordinarily when you were running for up to 9 hours, you have a shift of 50 people. You now can have a shift of
And now
75.
you're producing more.
Yeah.
You're now producing more, and. So we're not oblivious to the fact that government is going to narrow that gap. It's not possible. Yes, the 1.4 million are there, but that's those who have applied.
Yes.
And we know that there's possibly 1.4 million others who just didn't
apply.
Yes, who didn't apply, who are still unemployed. I think for me, personally for me, it's not just about unemployment, it's about skills.
Yes.
Okay, so even if you look at the categories of the 1.4 million, the categories of jobs that they applied for, majority of them are in the lower band, those that require no skills. So cleaners, menial work, so those that need either anything between grade 10 and grade 12.
Sure.
That was the majority of applications that we received. Okay. And so we have a huge unemployment problem, but we still have a skills shortage. We still have a skills problem. And that's what we've got to sort of ramp up.
Have you guys ever had a discussion about internet? Because I feel like personally...
Internet?
Yeah.
Okay.
If, let's say, for example, in the townships, if you were to give away free internet access, that gives access to information, which then gives access to possibilities and maybe even skills.
Yes.
Because, for example, I'm not an editor, but I could go on the internet and learn how to use Premiere Pro like in 2 weeks and become
simple example. 10 years ago, he was not a podcaster. Thanks to the internet, everybody in this room
Look at him now.
You are sitting here.
Look at him now.
Having access to the internet.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was a shit example.
Good luck. I thought I got your back. That's what I'm here for, my nigga.
So, of course, government...
And there's more of us, by the way.
Yeah, so government...
There's 30, we've employed 30 people.
That's
some are sitting at home
fantastic.
earning.
Just sitting at home. Yes.
Thanks to the internet.
I mean,
Yeah, they would think the heavy lifting.
you
Carrying the team.
So I could be at home. You mean I could be at home just earning money, sitting...
Because someone is working on the internet.
Yeah,
but
there's
you
many jobs available on the internet.
But people who handle parts of things like sales, etc. They're not
Got an IT guy,
An IT guy who designs our website. We've got people who make our merch. All those people are eating just because of Black Child had access to the internet. But he went to Hyde Park High, lived in Parktown. What about the kid from Vosloo who goes to Motara?
Okay.
And making internet accessible to them so that they can be a MacG and a Sodi.
So we do have a program like that. I think free internet or free Wi-Fi and access to free Wi-Fi and expanding that. So, of course, first it's at government facilities, but we've got to expand it to, there are some countries, everywhere you go, you'll be connected to the Wi-Fi. Yeah. You'll have internet connectivity.
That's how you know you've landed in Joburg when at the airport, the Wi-Fi stops working.
You went to airport in Tanzania, Kenya, Zimbabwe, Angola, Djibouti, they're all at internet.
Maybe not Zimbabwe. I'm sure. Everywhere.
Okay, but
I'm too spicy.
Joburg, Tambo, you get the internet is not working.
No, and that's...
There's one person working for 14 tills, and you've been on a 20-hour flight, now you just stand for another hour just to get your passport stamped in Joburg.
But you say,
Be nice. Be nice. But...
No, we need to be hard.
No, definitely. The fact is that we don't have adequate internet coverage and accessibility in South Africa. And that's one of the things that will keep us sort of behind the pack. So countries like Rwanda, Kenya are like steaming ahead.
Rwanda is killing us. Rwanda is killing us.
So we are sort of, so we are expanding that, rolling it out. So most of our schools, especially, the premier now, previous MEC of Education, was really, really forceful about internet access in schools, township schools, especially.
Yes.
Because you've got to equalize society. The reality is that in South Africa, a black child and a white child born today, the black child is about 15 to 20 years behind.
Of course.
And there's no excuse, though.
And of course, there's no excuse, but it's a reality.
Yeah,
right?
it is. Yeah.
So there are a lot of things that you've got to do consciously to equalize at birth. And some of the things government can do and some of the things government has got to create an environment to do. So I don't have a trust fund and my kid doesn't have a trust fund. That's not government's.
So currently, where's the free internet that the government is providing?
So in government facilities, so if you go to a hospital, clinic, libraries, that sort of thing, there'll be access to internet.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, we are expanding that and looking at just creating township hubs.
Yes,
with internet access. We're looking at what are the most common safe areas that we can do that. So we're in conversation with the taxi industry.
Nice.
So that's taxi ranks.
Yes.
Taxi ranks by their very nature are economic hubs of their own. Just lots of economic activity happens there. Informal, yes. And we don't necessarily want to formalize it. We just want to be able to upscale support. So bring in Wi-Fi access, free internet access. If you have a lot of people that converge there throughout the day, you then create an opportunity for other economic spin-offs.
100%, man.
I know there's companies that have, created infrastructure within township. I think private companies. I think maybe you guys can look at, partnering with them so that people don't need to walk to a library. I don't know.
What happened with the Elon Musk Starlink thing?
Yeah, I want to get to that, but hopefully you guys can make internet accessible because I personally know, I used to live in Hillbrow and I live in Hillbrow. I still do. But I know that there'd be an area where there's free internet access, probably brought to you by the government, but the problem is when people go there, the criminals, they know smartphones. Then people get robbed with it.
Okay,
so it would be great to have it in
our
our private homes.
Yes, but the idea is to have, so you create a hub. So if you're doing the taxi rank, you also put cameras, government-owned cameras, that polices it. And then, of course, yes, smartphones. But if you work with the sector closely, they would create the policing without being policed. So the taxi industry will make sure that space is safe.
Because they wanted to, yes.
Because it's in their best interest.
I don't know. You don't fuck around it. Sorry for the language.
Well,
you don't mess around at taxi ranks.
You don't. Okay.
No
so why don't you? But not far from the taxi rank, you do.
You do, yeah.
So it's also about just changing the way we think about our space, about society, our communities.
Now, MacG brought up a very important question. Starlink. Now, you said Rwanda, Kenya are really steaming ahead and forging ahead with fourth industrial thingies and the technology generally, right? Now, Kenya, Starlink is in Kenya.
Yeah.
Elon Musk is South African. Starlink is cheap internet. But I saw a report that ICASA, which obviously would give license to Starlink to operate in South Africa, will give Elon Musk conditions to operate like any other license. And one of those is that he must be 30% Starlink owned by previously disadvantaged South Africans. And a lot of people I notice online are not happy with that because to us on the ground, it sounds like it's language for that someone must eat.
Okay.
Who's government linked. So what's your opinion on Starlink coming to South Africa to ease on the burden on government rolling out all this internet, right? And the condition that it should be previously disadvantaged owned, maybe 30% of it.
Okay, so you know what I don't like about South Africans is that South Africans don't know what they want. Okay? So we spoke about mining.
Yeah.
And we said, oh, yes, and it's foreigners, and they came and they ate, and they just took the jewels to the queen somewhere, and okay. And then we said, fine, let's correct that, and there must be South African ownership in every business. By the way, Starlink is not telling you what the conditions were with the license in Kenya. Okay, and if you look at companies, especially multinational companies that operate in Botswana, all of them have got conditions of ownership.
Oh, yes.
It's a non-negotiable.
Botswana, they don't play.
They don't, it's not a maybe we can, let's talk about it.
Yes, you're right.
Okay, whether you are in mining, it doesn't matter. Okay. I don't think we must be apologetic about South Africans benefiting from what South Africa does economically. Okay? And it shouldn't be a negotiation. So if Elon Musk is going to eat, he must eat with 30%.
His own. He's South African, for crying out loud.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that sounds fair.
I think
That really sounds fair. The problem is people are like, it's BE has been a thing for years now.
No, so it's not
but
a
it's
BE
only a
thing.
few who are eating.
So it's not a
I'm not saying BE thing, but South Africans eating, but only a few.
Okay.
Jabulani, who's got an IT company from Vosloo, possibly may not be able to tap into the ecosystem of Starlink.
Oh, you know what I think he's saying,
Africa.
Tazneem?
No, so you want like so what we wrongly refer to as like the ordinary South African.
Not ordinary.
So the men on the ground must also benefit from...
If they don't have the skills, they can't, of course.
What he's saying, you know what I think he's saying? I think he's saying that on paper,
Yes.
it's amazing. Sounds
Beautiful.
good.
Yes.
But practically,
being South Africa, we all know that means Edwin is going to eat.
He's the one. He's the only one that's gonna win. It's like it's the only one who's winning his name, Edwin. He's the only one who's winning.
Another win.
Another win.
Another win.
And another win. Edwin.
Edwin.
But on paper, amazing. On paper.
Okay, so I'll let that one slide. But, okay, so I don't think we must allow, we can't continue to allow multinationals to operate in South Africa freely.
Sure. Definitely. Sure. We all agree with that. Yeah.
Do as you wish. And we'll be happy with the crumbs.
Milk our cow.
Yeah, just eat the steak and take it all, okay? We can't. I think that, so the 30% must be unpacked, okay, for lack of a better political word.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. So when you unpack it and you say it must be 30% of the 30%, so much must be SMMEs, okay? SMMEs are clearly defined. You make a certain percentage of money in a year, okay? But again, like I'm saying, that nobody has told you and nobody will tell you what were the conditions of Elon Musk operating in Kenya.
True,
okay?
True.
Nobody has told you that. They will not tell you that. I think politicians, yes, us politicians have not helped ourselves in South Africa. So we've fed into this perception that if you politically connected, you will be the one who gets first. If you sit, you're the one who sits at the dinner table.
Of course.
Okay? And it's a wrong perception. And like I say, though, politicians we've not helped ourselves with that narrative. Yeah. Okay? But I think that the sector and the black section of the sector, if I can call it that, must take a keen interest in that and must be able to be at the forefront of what happens. Any business deal, a business deal, public and private or private and private, any business deal is about relationships.
100%.
All the time. Network relationships, yeah.
And South Africans have grown this cancer of thinking that relationships are wrong.
Okay, where you going? Where you going with this?
So
I like where she's going. I like where she's going.
So in the private sector, Baldwin Properties.
The guy who owns Baldwin, if his uncle owns a plumbing company, it'll never starve if he needs plumbing.
Simple, okay? Or the fact that Baldwin Properties, all their developments go through smoothly, no glitches. Nobody asks about that.
And they're very smooth, eh?
Yes, probably.
Hey.
But they do that and they've gotten to work, the model to work because of relationships. So they've built relationships over time. They have relationships with the municipality. They have relationships with other people in the private sector, okay? So why is it that it can happen with the private sector?
Okay.
And we sort of like close our eyes, fine. But public sector, you wanted to operate through a Holy Ghost type of arrangement.
No. We just want transparency.
No,
It will be transparent.
No,
okay.
the thing is,
it will be transparent, but because you are not Edwin, and there's another Edwin, you're not happy that it's that Edwin, not you.
No, it's not that. People are not happy with the fact that, for example, if Bolwin, through the person they have a relationship with in government, gets a contract to do and deliver certain services, they deliver. We find out that this thing was a relationship thing when a person failed to deliver. So the problem, people have a problem with the
non-delivery
failing or
the
incompetent
failure.
people being assigned to, for example, part of the 30% of Starlink, and then they don't deliver on what they...
Because all the Bowen properties, if they were given to a comrade, you'll be lucky if there was even a toilet.
It's going to be ball loose. Going to be ball in. Ball loose. You see, so the people, because that's when it comes to light, that, there's a relationship there. When someone has a contract to do a particular job.
Okay. So,
yes.
I was previously, before I was at the Department of Economic Development, I was in the Department of Infrastructure.
Oh, yes.
Nice.
There's so many successful projects that were delivered by black companies, white companies, very.
Definitely.
And they handed over. Those schools are operational, the hospitals are operational, the clinics are, they're running.
Yeah.
Okay? Good stories never make headlines.
True.
Okay? 100%. And then there's the one project that from day one, by design, it was bound to be a stuff up. Okay? And we focus on that and we focus on that.
But we have one a week. We have one of those stories a week.
No. Look,
that's not true.
Look,
there's someone fucking up a tender now.
Maybe. But
there's 10
but
people.
There's 50 other tenders which are
tenders.
True.
There's 50 tenders which are working 100%, no problem.
That's true. Because
things are being delivered, no issues.
Community halls being
no issues.
Okay. No one mentions that.
No one mentions that. Okay.
Exactly. That's the job of the. It's like.
But the one asbestos housing project is the one we're going to speak about.
Let's.
So should we not speak about it?
No, we should. But we should also, in equal and more measure, we must celebrate our wins.
Lovely. Let's go to your wins.
Edwin.
In your.
I can introduce you to him.
Edwin Jaya.
I'll be his ice boy, dog.
Edwin Jaya. She's so
Like, I think you really want to meet the guy. I can introduce you to him.
Yeah,
ask him if he needs ice boys, not just an ice boy. Ice boy.
No. Ice boys. We'll carry that. No. Introduce us. I'm serious.
I can ask him to come to MacG.
No, you know what?
I don't know if you
Look, we
will.
want to know about his personal life.
Yeah.
Yo, it's lit, bro.
It's lit.
Be honest. You want to be like...
Yes, of course. Who doesn't?
Yes.
Who doesn't want to fly? Who doesn't want to give? Who doesn't want to give jets to?
You want that list?
Presenters on TV.
You want that list of exes? Like
Yes.
Yeah, all the girls with the BBLs and the curves, of course. Smashing that. Everybody wants to. Asbestos, my ass. How? We want to,
yes, you do.
Nah, man, without Edwin, every gent wants to live like him.
Yes.
How
No cap.
How anything deals go down? No, every nigga wants to live like that guy. There's no lie about future.
And apparently he's good looking as well.
You've never seen Edwin?
No, I've never seen him.
He's not good looking, but he just takes care of himself. He's not the typical entrepreneur.
There you go.
You can see he works out. You know, he's just a nigga, but he just works out. You can see you wouldn't think he's
It's not bad.
No, you wouldn't think it's because
His money makes him handsome.
Money as hell.
Yeah, his money makes him
you know him, and he's your uncle. He's your cousin's uncle. What do you mean?
I don't know him before,
Mudisha.
but After.
No. Talk to Edwin, man.
I'll ask him, I will.
No, awesome.
yeah.
Let's talk about some of your wins. Yes. What are some of the projects, initiatives you've been a part of since you've been a politician that you're proud of?
That I'm really proud of. Okay, so projects that I am really, 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 really proud of. We refurbished and even built new schools while I was at Department of Infrastructure.
Wow.
All of them in the townships. Nice. One really, really huge school in Vosloorus. It's even got a swimming pool.
Wow.
Yes, it's got a swimming pool.
You don't know about the wins in Vosloorus.
It's a mega primary school. We call it a mega primary school. Beautiful, beautiful, stunning, gorgeous.
What's it called?
I'll get the name.
Hey,
okay.
Voslo. I'm from Voslo.
Yeah. And then what other schools that we've taken from like before and after.
Yeah.
A very beautiful school in the Val that we built, opened, gorgeous. It's got a state-of-the-art hall for art production. So if you wanted to do like a stage production, it's got theater production.
This is in the hood, ne?
In the Val, yes, in Sebokeng, actually. Wow. Beautiful. So those are so what keeps me going is doing that kind of work, knowing that kids I will probably never meet. I'll never have the privilege of meeting those kids or their parents, but the work that I do every day will change their life.
Economy? What have you done in economy?
Economy, sure. We've done quite a lot since I joined the department. So fortunately, I got into a department that had a lot of programs already running. Yeah. And mine was just to sort of continue and make sure that we don't lose momentum. One of them, a big one, is the Tshwane SEZ. What is an SEZ? A Special Economic Zone. Okay. So there we've got Ford Motor Company. They are the anchor tenant, and then we've got 11 OEMs. Wow. Based in South Africa, manufacturing. They want to ramp up to 24 hours.
What are OEMs?
Original equipment manufacturer.
Okay.
Okay. Cool. So Ford is. So we. Did you know? Did you know?
Let's go, Mama. Take it, Mama.
Did you know?
That's why we're here. School us.
That South Africa, the Ford plant in South Africa, manufactures Ford Ranger for Europe. So
we export Rangers.
We export it. Manufactured proudly in South Africa. Yeah. And so you will see the trucks leaving Pretoria on the N12, N3. They all left-hand drive vehicles. They all for European market.
Wow.
Ranger and Amarok.
And that's a big win. It's
huge.
That's a huge win.
It's huge. Not far from them is BMW. Wow. BMW manufactures X3, export market. So they pay us in euros.
Why do they come here, though? What do we have?
Yeah, when we've got load shedding and everything else. And labor laws.
No,
No, it's a valid question. No, valid question. We've got...
You want it or you don't want it?
No, we want it.
Then?
But we must ask.
No.
We've got...
Do you want it or you don't want it?
We've got stringent labor laws, unlike China.
Do you want it or you don't want it?
We want it. Give it to us.
Then?
Give it to us all.
Then it's here. Then take it.
But it's like, but we don't deserve.
You see, that's I saw now. We are small shade. I saw not if you are small shade.
I mean, our labor laws are tough, unlike China, where Nike can print can do
and do you think that's right? Do you think it's right?
Our local sticker
but you think that's right?
Some of our local sticker designers buy their stickers from China.
But you think it's right?
It's not right.
So why do you celebrate it?
So I'm asking, how do we convince them to invest in South Africa?
How did we?
With our honest.
How did we? Do you want to know how we did?
That's what we're asking.
His face.
I can believe it. I can believe it. Me from Schweinsteiger there. In Germany of BMW, Schweinsteiger. When you come and you're like, Schweinsteiger, invest in South Africa. I'm like, I'm not coming. But no sharing is fine. Don't worry. You got criminals, fine. Don't worry.
So, no. So they came before I joined the department. Okay. But we put a very strong case of why us, not anywhere else.
Shout out to that.
And the South Africa's worst enemy is South Africans themselves.
Yeah. That's true.
You've proved it.
No, you know why? Because you
So
guys
represent South Africans.
So let us speak. You've had your time.
you've proven to us.
Okay? So, who will sell our story if not us?
True.
Okay?
True.
But everybody in the world knows about load shedding. Okay, so fun fact, I lived in Pakistan. So, and I'm saying this because we are all considered third world countries.
Sure, 100%.
Okay?
Yeah, true.
So I lived in Pakistan for 1 year. They have load shedding and there's no schedule. And the electricity can go off 3 days, 3 hours.
Yo, that's crazy.
Wow, crazy.
When it's you can wake up, it's
Hey,
off.
don't give the comrades
Yeah,
ideas.
you're giving them ideas.
Yeah, 24 hours. It works. Plus, we've got, for 24 hours, we've got Pakistans in South Africa. It works.
So that helps you. Maybe that helps us understand why so many of them have come to South Africa. Think about it. Yes. Okay. So not very long ago, I was in the UK. I was in England.
Yeah.
And so what I do, especially when I travel to English-speaking countries, I listen to talk radio.
Yeah.
Because it helps me understand
What's happening.
What is happening?
agenda, what people are
like
talking
the
Lay of the land.
temperature. What are people talking? Do you know?
Yes?
They were talking about their energy crisis, their looming energy crisis.
Wow.
People were calling in so they still have lots of farm communities.
And the wind thing.
What they consider rural communities out in the land.
Outskirts, yeah.
Outskirts. They generate their own electricity. Government doesn't want to pay them for it. It's expensive. Wrong language, but bitching and moaning about the electricity and green energy and not green
This
energy.
is the UK.
The UK. I almost thought I had to check. Am I?
Still in SA.
Yes.
Is this Mongani?
Ah,
702.
so 702. Man. What?
Is this
Okay.
problem on 702?
But do you know it? No, you don't.
Yeah.
But everybody and their
Bro,
brothers and sisters
you're so right.
know that there's load shedding in South Africa. 2 weeks ago, I was in Cape Town.
Yeah.
Or last week, actually, I was in Cape Town. We had the tourism marketing meeting with the Minister of Tourism, MECs from across the province, and. So I stayed at the hotel called 15 on Orange.
Okay.
And while we were having breakfast, there was load shedding, and there were big tourist groups there because I think it's Europe's summer, winter, whatever. So they were there, load shedding. All the South Africans were, these foreign visitors were unfazed because they experience it in their country as well.
No way.
It's not a big issue. Okay? I'm not justifying it, and I'm not saying it's right.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that we must solve
Well,
it.
we're hard on ourselves.
We are hard on
our
ourselves,
government.
and we should be. And we must solve the load shedding problem.
Yeah.
You're so right.
We must get rid of it because load shedding, all it does, by the way, is just makes, especially for multinationals, it just makes their operating costs
Higher.
slightly higher, but they still invest. If it was a defining decision maker, whether they go to a country with load shedding or not load shedding, they wouldn't invest in South Africa, but
Definitely,
they do.
yeah.
And they know, okay, fine, we must just offset it and. That's all they have to do. Yes.
Also, when you say, okay, we're talking about the foreign investors, a lot of South Africans who do business have had to close down because of. So it is a major factor for South Africans.
No, it is definitely. So for South Africans, it's the difference between whether your business operates for another month or not.
Sure.
That's the reality.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I have had conversations with institutions that have got energy funds and saying that, okay, fine, what can they do and how can they help us? Let's cushion the private sector.
Yeah.
Because I believe, yes, we must, of course, cushion people who are at home and households. But if we cushion the private sector and give them energy response interventions, you would have ultimately responded to what happens at home, okay? Because you would make sure that jobs are secure, jobs are safe, okay? But if I do nothing to Wadeville.
Yeah.
If I do nothing to intervene to all those factories in Wadeville, all those people will be out of jobs at home.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, true.
So we're speaking to them. We are putting together a very good initiative.
Nice.
That's going to come just to save manufacturing in Gauteng.
Beautiful.
Okay. They have a fund. I'm not going to tell you how much it is, and you don't need 30% PE to access the fund.
Cool. When I meet Edwin, so
He'll tell us.
he'll tell us.
Actually, that
that is to say that there is manufacturing. A lot of manufacturing that happens in South Africa, yes, for export, which is not ideal. We want to manufacture for local.
Yeah, will we ever get to a place where we make our own cars? Do you think that's possible?
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
We will.
Okay.
I think very soon, actually. I think young South Africans, great ideas, great minds. There's somebody... not somebody, one.
Yeah.
There's a few who are sitting on very, very good ideas. Let's look at vehicles of the future.
Wow.
Electric motor vehicles, hydrogen motor vehicles, even self-drive, whatever it is. We can definitely manufacture our own, and we can manufacture our own anything. But South Africans being South Africans, we think we're better than the rest of the world.
That's true.
So we don't want a local brand. You want that European.
You're right.
Never.
She's right, bro.
What do you mean? You're wearing... That's not local.
No, it's sponsored.
Yeah, this is local. You see, we love local brands and we embrace when the quality is good and great. We do local.
Okay, but
South Africans love local.
Kenyans in Kenya buy Kenyan.
We buy South African.
Nah.
Drip.
Drip.
Makosa.
You're wearing
Okay.
Nike? You're wearing Nike.
Nope. This is old khaki, South African brand. Look.
No, you're wearing Nike.
Look. Old khaki. Look. This is old khaki, South African brand. This is wait. This is Cultish, South African brand. This.
So not the MEC.
This is Veep.
I'm sorry, you had to
This
see
is
that.
Not the MEC. So
South African brand.
Your Takis are Nike.
Yeah, the tech is only.
But that's what I was talking about.
Sneakers Nike.
Yes, that's what I was talking about.
Tracksuit South African. South African.
stay down. So stay down.
The beer. Striped horse. South African. We live South African.
We do, but we're just a minority. I understand where she's coming
Yeah,
from.
I get you, but hey. Yeah, I get you though.
Because how many times do you go on social media and people are trashing Drip, but you never see anyone trash Nike?
Nike. And
it's our very own people.
in Botswana, I'll bring my tracksuit trousers.
Botswana! They just wear Botswanan stuff.
Yes, and in Botswana, my Nike pants tore. And I was like, what the fuck? It's cheap material. And
But
that's
did you
the
post
truth
it?
of
If it was Drip, I would know.
Yeah, every celebrity would know. Would you even tag the owner? Check it out. You're right.
At least you are admitting to
I do.
Yes.
our bad culture.
But
as
we're
South
trying to
Africans.
change it.
Yes,
Yeah, we're
yes.
trying
Are you?
We
to-
are.
Look, I'm wearing South African 90%. I proved. Veep, Cultish, old khaki.
Okay, I believe you. I believe you. I believe you.
Thank you.
I believe you.
K-way jacket, South African.
Yes, I believe. Okay, I
And you're
believe
wearing
you.
it.
Yes.
Please tell us about the partnership with Uber Eats.
Okay, so one of the very exciting partnerships that we have is with Uber Eats. So what are we trying to do with that? E-commerce is a big platform that's growing in South Africa. Of course, COVID brought it to us much quicker.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a whole lot of things that we're trying to do with this partnership. We're trying to not only, so amaguinya that you get in the township, you must be able to order it from Uber Eats and have it delivered. Okay?
Love it. Do you know there's a place in Chawero, ne?
Yeah.
They make the best kotas. I literally have to drive from Centurion to Chawero to get those
Shouldn't have
kotas.
Is that how they say shawela?
How do you say?
Chawero.
Shawela. Like you'll take a shower for me. Don't shawela. Shawero.
So imagine if it was on Uber Eats.
Yes.
So that's the idea behind
That's
it.
gonna be costly,
Number
though.
one. Number two, so it's taking township manufactured products, not only food, using what they call last mile, So last mile is in the delivery value chain and the logistics value chain. Last mile refers to the last part of a product getting to a household or a consumer.
Oh, the last stretch.
The last stretch. So from the raw product to the manufacturer to a warehouse, the last mile is from delivery to the consumer. So companies such as Uber Eats, DHL, they work in the value chain in the last mile. Okay?
Yes.
So the idea is, one, South Africans being South Africans, we have not, in majority, taken up the opportunity that last mile has as jobs.
For real?
How many guys are...
So how many South Africans out? So when you order Uber Eats, the driver is name is...
Yeah, no, it's never South African, never.
That you are lucky if there's a... But most
true.
times the South African, the driver's name is...
Abednego. Or Francis from Mozambique.
I had romance.
Romance.
Yes.
Dependable. Those ones.
And he'll deliver all the time.
course, of
That's why he's dependable.
Of course. Okay.
He's in the delivery services.
So what are the conditions of the partnership with Uber Eats? They're going to give us 10,000
Scooters, okay.
and cars.
Wow.
So it's a combination of the motorbikes and a vehicle that almost looks like the smart car. South African, and you have to have a driver's license. PDP, if you don't have PDP, if you have a driver's license, then we'll assist you to get PDP working with the Department of Transport.
Oh, nice.
Okay?
Cool. Shout out.
But you must be a South African. So you don't have to pay for your motorbike or your scooter. We're going to give it.
You're gonna fuck it up.
Beautiful.
They're gonna fuck
And
it
there's
up.
nothing wrong with
No, they
saying
won't.
that.
Don't
They
be
will.
negative,
But no
Mac.
check about Tubana. They're gonna go to their girlfriends and stuff.
You see,
I promise you. You don't know South Africans.
Now you're like Saul.
Mac.
I've been here for like 30 minutes trying to
man.
can we not be South African? Okay.
Mac.
So and we really want to change the behavior.
Yeah.
So why are you young with a driver's license and unemployed? You shouldn't be.
Yes.
Please open the door.
Yeah.
Watch me.
Like you really need that drive.
Yeah.
Especially when you have
You shouldn't. You shouldn't be. No, but you shouldn't be.
You got a license. Why don't you drive? Like, what the fuck is going on with you?
So barriers to entry, 0.
Yes.
None, okay? But South Africans with a driver's license, no skill, he wants a job with the top floor office. With the view.
How?
Can we just be practical about life? Okay, so the condition is 10,000, all 10,000 of them, South African with a driver's license. Like I say, PDP, if you don't have PDP, we'll help you. We've got a program with Department of Roads and Transport just to fast track the licenses. Linked, so on the Uber Eats platform is all these township manufacturers of not only food, but also goods. Okay, so we have enlisted and enrolled township manufacturers of creams, body lotion,
Whatever.
Wow.
salts. Last week I had I met Oya Foods. I love the products, and I wish everybody would go and buy a product. If you buy from them, you'll definitely buy again. Tasty, gorgeous stuff. It's in the food space. They could rival with any dried food business. So that's all of these. We're enlisting them on the Uber Eats platform. You buy, you get it delivered, and it's township to suburb, suburb to township, township to wherever. But it's making the last mile
beneficial to
South Africans. And we really want South Africans to see that any job opportunity is worth taking in an economy that is struggling like ours.
How do I apply for this?
You need a network of people. No, I'm joking. We're going to...
Edwin is coming.
No,
We're good.
no, I'm joking. We're going to do a public call for applications.
Okay, dope.
We're going to do a public call for applications, calling for anyone unemployed with a PDP first, so that we enlist those with PDP, and then we'll do another call for applications. If
Where
we
do
don't
we
reach
get
the 10,000.
Where will the call out be?
It will be public on all our public platforms. So we're just doing all the,
Oh, okay.
Twitter, Facebook. Twitter is no longer called, is it still?
Yeah, it's still Twitter. Hey, it's always going to be Twitter, man.
Yeah, X,
Elon
whatever.
Musk is... Nah.
But it'll be on all our social media platforms.
Around which month, maybe? Is this coming soon? Or
Very
maybe
soon.
Very far?
No,
or...
it's going to be very soon. We're just working out the final modalities. Next week, we're launching. On Friday, we're launching the program. So we'll communicate. I think if we've finalized more of the detail, we'll be able to communicate on Friday what some of those details are. And, you know, I have seen this work. So not long ago, I was in China.
Yes.
Chinese do everything in China.
Yes.
Wow.
So
They don't mess around, bro.
Chinese do everything in China. Wow. So they are millionaires, billionaires. They also clean the streets.
Yeah.
They also are waiters. They also are, they have their own Uber Eats arrangement platform.
Yeah, even their own WhatsApp.
Their own WhatsApp,
their own
WeChat.
Twitter. They have their own everything.
Yeah, they have their own everything.
Damn, bro.
Right? But Chinese do everything in China.
That's eye-opening.
It is. So,
which is ironic from China. It's an irony from China.
I think I walked right into that. But the idea is that South Africans, of course, Chinese are one. So Chinese are bus drivers. Yeah. Chinese are...
Why do you think South Africans don't want to do those kind of jobs?
Those small jobs.
Because South Africans believe that they are owed something.
They're entitled. Say it.
Or that there are things that are beneath them.
Isn't it things like the grant, maybe, that's...
I don't know.
Yeah, that cultivated the environment of entitlement.
Yes and no. Because social security is a government responsibility.
Sure.
In any country. Welfare in America, they call it.
Yeah, social security is a state responsibility.
Yeah.
So we have responsibility to cushion the vulnerable. But somebody, I maintain, a young able-bodied or even a middle-aged able-bodied South African with a driver's license is not vulnerable.
Yeah, look, we see able-bodied people every day, with a begging bowl.
I wanted to ask you.
Vulnerable is somebody who is really vulnerable.
Who can't generate an income for themselves.
Yeah. In any way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But the minute, if you are, then you should.
No, I agree, 100%. If you can sell eggs, sell eggs.
Have you ever had any interaction with Elon Musk? Because he could solve all our problems.
Not yet.
But it's in the pipeline.
Definitely. Why shouldn't it be?
I mean, we're asking about our own South African cars, and here's a South African.
Okay, but his cars are
creating
very
an American,
expensive.
No, but I'm saying here's a South African with the brains who just so happened to have the opportunity to move to America and is selling cars under an American brand, which he created. Clearly, we've got another Elon Musk born in South Africa,
100%.
who's not from a family or has the means to go to America, who could actually create another Elon Musk brand.
No, there's a lot of Elon Musk here. There's a lot of
Elon Musk. There's people who've got solutions to our load shedding problem within our borders. And within 3 years, it's done. Or less.
I don't dispute that.
We must tap into those resources as government, though.
No, we definitely
need to tap into
How can we get our highways clean, man? They're so dirty.
They are dark to begin with. Sometimes you drive past Edenvale, there's lights in the residences, no lights on the freeway.
Because there's load shedding.
And then you can't see the dirt.
No, even when there's no load
I see their plan. I see it. But yeah, there's so many small things.
Wouldn't that create employment?
Yes, we are employing 6,000. So our premier, we now call him Mama
Banyas.
6. Yeah, we now call him Mama 6000.
I'm a 6,000.
Yes,
Oh,
Mama
he likes Zama 6,000.
Yes, so we're going to hire 6,000 people who are going to work on roads. So road cleaning, potholes.
Ah, please, man. Please,
So
man.
in fact,
Nice.
they're gonna start soon, I think.
Is
yeah.
it? Imagine if our highways, have you been to you travel a lot. Have you seen how clean other highways are? And then as soon as you land here, you just see dirt everywhere.
Have you seen how dirty other highways are?
No, I have. I have. But I mean, doesn't mean we must.
No, and I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying that let's focus on the wins. And if you focus on the wins, you will elevate those. The L's, we will begin to sort them out ourselves.
Gotcha. Ghost Lady, you got a question?
We are entering Women's Month, and I just want to understand, what does it mean to you?
Oh my goodness.
Women's Month. Yes.
Yes.
It's coming from you.
Exactly. It's number one because it comes from me.
You're
yes.
right.
I was the one to have you in the comments. There.
Women's Month. What does it mean? Okay, so I was raised by a formidable, phenomenal woman, my mom, and raised by two formidable, phenomenal women, my grandmothers. I have got 4 sisters. I have no brother. So we are 5 girls at home.
Whoa.
You don't drink alcohol, so you don't have 4 cousins.
Drop this fucking of yours.
Come on.
So nice.
20. Okay. That's a higher grade joke, but okay. So for me, I have been surrounded and exposed to strong women for my whole life.
Your whole life, yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And I'm fortunate that I also was raised by the type of man that I have been raised by, who is my father, who never made us think that we are less because we are female or women. So anything he can do, I can do it.
How's it like being a woman in politics, though?
It's rough.
It's rough, ne?
Young even.
It's
Not even like black. No, in South Africa, you know. No, but no. Look, in South Africa, bro, you know.
In South Africa?
If you are young,
Okay.
it's a challenge.
Let's answer
You're a
that.
woman, it's a
Okay.
challenge. On top of that, you're not like black. You're not Herman Mashai, you're not black like me. It's a bigger problem. Let's be
Okay.
honest about
Okay.
it. Race does play a role in South Africa. It's very sensitive.
Okay, but
You're young, not
I like
black.
to argue that in South Africa, there's 2 races, black and white.
Yes.
So if you're not white, you're
Black.
black.
But
She looks like she can speak some Venek.
during apartheid, people who are not black weren't white enough. And I feel like maybe post-apartheid, they're not black enough politically.
Okay, so if somebody asks me, what are you? I say I'm South African.
Okay. Plain and
So
simple.
my mom is what you would call colored.
Okay.
My dad is what you would call Indian.
Oh, dope.
Yeah.
So what am I?
Tazneem.
I am South African. Because
Yeah.
So in fact, growing up, one day we're having this conversation, and my younger sisters were filling out some form for school, and they filled their demographic and they said colored. And I was like, okay,
Fascinating.
I've always said I'm Indian. Because my dad is
Because of
Indian.
pops, yeah.
Yeah, so then we had a whole conversation, and then the younger sisters were like, oh, okay, I've been calling myself colored. And I was like, I've been calling myself Indian.
yeah.
So, guys,
What
okay, what are we?
Yeah.
So, and
man.
I guess if you socialize in a particular way, patriarchy plays
Yes,
a role.
yes.
So you are what your father is. Okay.
Yeah.
So then I complicated things a little bit more, and then I married a Swati man.
Wow.
Whoa! Shout out.
Yeah. Okay. So like my kid,
Yes.
hey, he's just gonna be South African because
Yeah.
he doesn't look black.
Yeah.
Doesn't look black,
No, he's like my skin,
Your skin color.
but it's swat.
but he's Swati.
And he's got some
But it's
Indian
not swat
blood.
enough.
But he ain't black enough, right? So, and then he's got like soft curls.
Hey,
Yeah. So,
You're starting a new species, man.
yeah.
and then one sister is married to an Indian guy.
Whoa!
My older sister was married to a Tswana.
Wow.
So it was just...
Oh, gosh.
Okay.
So, put a white guy in the mix now.
Oh,
Yeah.
confused.
So, okay, so the issue is, yes, race is very important, but I believe it's as important as you make it. The same with gender. Okay, so we've lately, very recently, in recent years in South Africa, have been forced to accept LGBTQI plus community.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And so we no longer speak about women and men.
No.
No.
It's almost taboo to speak about.
No, that's old. That's old now.
It
old
is.
news.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. There's no black and white.
So gender is as important as you make it. Okay? So is race. And so is any other indicator, if I can put it that. Politics, I believe, is as hard as any other established sector of society.
Yeah.
So you find politics in the corporate boardroom.
Yeah.
Okay, you'll be so and so qualified, but there'll be a ceiling that you'll reach because somebody else has got different networks that you don't have, as an example.
Yeah.
Okay, so they've got different politics in corporate world. Politics is, especially now in South Africa, it's no longer the let's fight for everyone clean.
Oh, yeah. Have you ever had an occasion where you're trying to do the right thing, where you're trying to fulfill your objectives, but a comrade from higher up comes to you and says, no, you're killing our bread here. We need to eat here.
Oh, good question.
No,
Don't
fortunately not.
Yeah,
Never.
you haven't, no?
I've never.
Or says you're giving the contract to the wrong person.
No, never. Because no, I've never had that. And I think there's a lot of things that people think happens in politics, but it doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you think we meet in dark,
Yeah. Dingy dungeons.
yes, and there's a lot of smoke and none of that. Of course, yes, we do conspire to take each other out.
Of course.
Okay, because
That's natural.
yes, the world is about survival.
Competitiveness.
How do you get ahead? How do you weaken your opponent? Okay? It happens in politics, it does. I wouldn't be where I am if I was just a pretty face only.
Do you think you guys are going to win next year?
Of course we will. No, of course.
Peduka.
That's a win, obviously. You know how South Africans are, my man. That's a win. That's a win. I mean, they've been winning for a very long time.
No, but I think load shedding really messed you guys up.
Load shedding has, definitely, but a lot of things have.
The bean.
So, and yes, and I think that we've got a lot more to lose as South Africa.
Yeah.
If an organization like the ANC doesn't run South Africa.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's what South Africans have got to think about. What kind of South Africa would we have if the Freedom Front Plus led South Africa? Would you be as free as you are?
Hey!
Imagine with this twang. Never.
Those are just some realities.
The reality is never.
Okay? And so I think those are some of the things that we do have to think about. I think that young people have got to be more active and conscious. So you say, obvious, do you vote? Have you ever voted?
I've exercised my vote at every turn where I can vote. Local.
Give me a...
Nationally, I vote.
How old are you?
Time. I'm 36.
Hey, these ones need a room, eh?
Okay.
Stop spreading rumors.
So for an average 36-year-old, that would be common.
Vote.
Yes, that would be common.
Since the first time I could vote, I was voting.
But for an average 26-year-old, no.
Can we vote for you?
Please do.
Yeah, man. You're the coolest politician we've ever had on the show.
You must vote for my organization. I wouldn't be what I am today and where I am today if it wasn't
What's
for
your
the
organization?
The African National Congress.
I see. Our good old friend. Hello, my old friend. Come along.
I wouldn't be where I am, what I am. I wouldn't be as conscious as I am I wouldn't be as patriotic as I am.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be as invested in South Africa as I am if it wasn't for the African National Congress.
And that's your truth.
That is
Luca,
my
you
truth.
got a question?
Yeah, speaking on that, I've got a question. You know, I'm very impressed by you, like super, right?
Yeah, you're the coolest politician.
Yeah, my question is, how the hell did you, because I mean, being an MEC is very high ranking within the political spheres and the system. How did you make it successfully so high as a young person? Because from us looking in from outside, ANC is not a place for young people. Young people are not being considered, being prioritized, and they don't make it up. And we all know there's amazing young people. You know what I mean? And sometimes it just gets shelved into the higher or the lower ranking positions within the ANC and subsequently government. How did you succeed? And you're young, gorgeous, good looking. How did you do it?
Keep going.
I'll go.
Continue, so.
Then I'll tell us. Let's see everything. How did you do it?
Okay, so did you know, in Gauteng, every province has got 10 MECs.
Yeah.
In Gauteng, out of the 10 MECs, 5 of us are under the age of 45.
Whoa.
So I'm not a special species.
Well, you guys don't tell us about these people. And also...
But it's also your responsibility to know about who's running your shit.
And the second end... shit, I like that. And the second end of my question is, why then don't we see, because like, remember when I started, I said MECs are the equivalent of ministers nationally, but provincially. Why don't we see that translating into that same number within the ministries nationally?
Okay. So I think, so as progressive as the African National Congress is, the reality is that it's still an African party with African culture, right? And one of our weakest points of African leadership is not wanting to let go. And it's a phenomenon across the whole
It
of the
cripples
continent.
organizations and governments.
It has crippled progress.
Yeah.
Literally.
So you do need disruption, and I think in Gauteng we have disrupted the status quo quite a lot.
Please,
so we are the youngest provincial executive, both in the African National Congress and in government. And because, like I said earlier, everything begins and ends in Gauteng, we've now sort of...
Does the coalition thing work?
Not.
It doesn't.
It doesn't, bro.
It doesn't work.
Coalitions don't work. We've seen it.
Not at all. So it's like forcing... it's a forced marriage.
Yeah.
And forced marriages, people can say that it works, but you have to sort of stomach things. It takes a long time.
And back to relationships like you're talking about. Yeah.
But, I mean, look at her. Indian colored coalitions work.
But, both my parents were political activists.
Yeah.
And the truth is that my dad's family didn't want my mom.
Whoa.
And my mom's
Always
family...
the case, even with whites and blacks.
And my mom's
the
family...
white family is like, hey.
But my mom's family didn't want my dad.
Hey, man.
Look at the royal family in England. They didn't want Meghan's child and Meghan.
2023. So my mom's family didn't want my dad. They were like,
Hey.
Irikuli.
Yeah.
And my dad's family didn't want my mom. They were like, yo,
Still coming.
justice. What's going on? You know? But...
The Indians don't speak Afrikaans. But I get you. We get you.
But...
Stick on. What does that mean?
It's a stab him.
Oh, stab him. Stick on.
That's not a Trevor Noah joke. Still come, baby. Still come.
Oh,
Goodness.
Still, Baba's tumor, like. Still, you know, whatever. I don't know.
And then, but... My parents being my parents, and
Made it work.
They did, and my family, my grandmother, may her soul rest in peace, my paternal grandmother, grew to really, really love my mother because my mother is a respectful woman,
Genuine.
She raised her grandkids well,
Good woman.
exactly.
Yeah.
So she was not the drunkard,
typical
gown
stereotype.
wearing,
Remove that race, woman to
slipper
woman,
donning,
connected.
you know, she wasn't that stereotype. And I think, of course, a big part of acceptance and accepting society and growing as society is to get over your own prejudices and your own ideas of what another person should be and shouldn't and will not do.
So, ma'am, you wake up tomorrow, you're the Premier of Joburg. Gauteng.
Yes.
What are we changing? According to you, I know you have people you have to talk to and things you have to do before it actually...
So if we lived in an ideal world... So if we lived in an ideal world, I would open up the economy for 24 hours first. So I would do away, so at the risk of being fired, I would do away with the stringent labor regime that we have. Okay, and so open up the economy for 24 hours, public transport for 24 hours, reliable, connected, so you can go from Sebokeng to Hammanskraal easily. I would create multiple state companies in the same sector. Okay. So to deal with energy, I would create 10 ESCOMs.
Oh,
so that they compete with each other.
Wow.
Love it.
So that they... but they will still be state companies.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, we've got electricity. Some just perform better.
Yes.
And you choose who you want to get your services from.
They compete with each other. Beautiful. They compete with everybody. So I would do that for electricity. I would do that for water. I would do that for whatever. So state companies, 10 of the same that must compete with each other. And I would be a bit of a dictator.
Love it.
Yes.
You always need that. A fucking backbone.
Yes.
Someone to make decisions.
Yes.
Damn it. I see after 10. Finished. Sometimes we need leadership.
We do.
Proper leadership.
Yes.
It means a sprinkle of dictatorship.
Yes. So I would close Gauteng borders for a good few years.
Come with it, mama. Come with it, mama.
No one from Limpopo, no one from
Limpopo. We wanted to take
Anyway.
Now I'm losing it now. You're taking over them.
No one from anywhere.
Shumela vendor. The Shumela once a year, what to say?
No one from anywhere in Gauteng. And then say, we'll see you after a while.
We're working on this.
Yes, we're working on this. And some dictatorship, the way I've raised my kids.
Yes.
No, Violet.
It's needed.
We've seen how in
democracy doesn't work in Africa.
We've seen how in households, when a parent is very democratic.
Spoiled brat.
Versus when a parent democratic, but dictatorship kafuneka. Okay, I let you do this one. I let you have a slime in the backseat of my car. Look at my backseat now. The slime. No more slime in the backseat.
No, you mustn't give this. There's certain things you mustn't...
see the backseat of my car right
now.
No,
there's certain things you mustn't even test. Because you know what slime in the backseat of the car.
No, slime. No.
So there's certain things you shouldn't even test. Why would you test that?
Democrat.
No, what kind of a...
Mandela say.
Democrat. What kind of a father are you?
Mandela father.
My kids, there's no chocolate allowed in my car. No.
Yes. Dictatorship is needed.
There's no chocolate. No fizzy drinks, nothing.
They'll do that in no car.
Thank you. They'll buy cars on.
When you get your car.
Yeah.
If they ever.
Do it in your car.
Yes.
Not in my car. Yes.
So you must illegal mining in Lesotho, not in our country.
Yeah. Oh.
No
go
illegal
down
mining
there.
anyway. It's dangerous.
They must be in danger under their own ground. Not on our ground. On what grounds do they come to South Africa? On what grounds?
And I would...
You know what? They must close up all the mines.
And
so that the Lesotho people are grounded.
I would choose... So we have in South Africa, not in South Africa, we have in Gauteng what we call 10 high growth sectors.
Okay.
So I would choose probably a maximum of 10 items per sector that we ban imports so that you force local manufacturing.
But yeah, true. Okay, like for example, I know this is a national thing. I know AGOA is happening, where we get obviously beneficial rates to take stuff from America, and they dump all the bad chicken on us. And look, I like homemade chicken and whatnot.
Stuff you eat at KFC.
Yeah, true. All the horrible chicken that's GMO modified, genetically
and the
modified.
mama there in the taxi rank by the side of the road, the chicken is so good.
The hard body.
The hard body.
Yes, and it's from and it's so big. Yeah. The thigh, the portion, because it's that Brazilian American,
and it's
North
full
American
of water.
Chicken, full of water and brine. Dumped here. I feel like I'm the Solpanduga road boy now.
So
you're glitching.
Dumped here.
So that's what I would do. So
good,
take
guys.
say in every sector. So one of our sectors is 10 high growth sectors is construction.
Yeah.
But we import simple things like I was in the Department of Infrastructure.
Sure.
During COVID, we had a huge problem of getting taps into schools. So we build schools with laboratories, and there's a specific lab tap. Yes, we buy it from a South African company here, but they import it.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
We couldn't finish. There was one school we just couldn't finish because
there was no taps.
There was no, and of course during COVID the imports were stopped. We just couldn't finish a school because we couldn't install taps because they were not available anywhere in South Africa.
I imagine we made them.
So just simple things. I would say these 10 items we're no longer importing.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, wow. And here I was thinking you couldn't finish the school because Zuma was the president. Are you gonna finish the school, dog? Are you gonna finish the school, dog? When the president did it.
I was the MEC after he was the president.
Oh, okay. So
Education.
So I think, So I have my issue with higher education is, for instance, NSFAS funds a lot of students just because you qualify to be funded.
Sure.
They're not looking at what are you studying.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, wow.
So also our universities, I would build a lot more universities. We just don't have enough.
Okay.
And specialized universities. So anywhere in the world you go, you get a University of Economics. We don't have that. You get a University of Commerce.
We've got agriculture though in Limpopo or something. I've seen a university.
Is it a university or is it a faculty of a university? I'm not sure, but I could be wrong. Okay.
Yes, okay, cool.
So I think we need to build specialized universities and expand knowledge creation. I think one of the other things I would do is to invest a lot in R&D. I think we just don't do enough in research and development. So we following what the world is discovering as opposed to being
customizing
leaders in new discovery.
Yeah.
But the only way you can do that is to invest in research.
Isn't it crazy how the whole world flocks to New York and it's a bunch of billboards, but we have the cradle of humankind where the first human was spotted, but no one makes a big hoo-ha about that.
Who do you want to make a big hoo-ha if you don't?
Be us, bro.
Thank you. If you don't,
we must put that as our export value.
If you don't. Have you been there?
Yes.
How was your experience when you went there?
Wait, New York.
You went to New York before you went to Cradle of Humankind.
How was Humankind for you?
In Sterkfontein.
How was it for you?
It was crazy. Sterkfontein Caves. Oh, it was crazy. Cradle of Humankind.
From now on, when we start with the show, you must start with that Cradle of Humankind thing.
I'll answer you. Do you know Miss Pless?
Yes.
And the Town Child? Where are they found?
There, at Cradle.
By who?
I'm not sure. By Wits. I think Wits University discovered it.
And Dr. Tobias, may his soul rest in peace, colored amazing professor at Wits University.
Race is a big thing for you, eh?
So I've been there. No, I'm answering. I've been.
No, I mean you couldn't just say Professor Tobias. You
No. You know why? Because Professor Tobias is one of the great coloreds of the country. No, like he really represents the race very. It's a Gandhi. It's a Gandhi. Guys,
Stop.
You know Professor Tobias.
Stop.
Anthropology, right?
Quit while you're
Anthropology. Like Professor, amazing brain from a vet, passed away a few years ago.
Amazing South African brain.
Amazing South African brain. Okay, fair enough. Amazing South African brain.
So what else are we doing, Taz? We're going to Creator of Humankind. We're doing an episode from there. You better watch that
underground.
episode.
Ooh, that's gonna be our most underground episode ever.
Okay.
We've got commercial
English,
ones and underground ones, you know?
English is leaving you now, but okay, I get the point. Yeah, you must go there.
No, it's the
What else are we
perfect
doing?
English.
What else are you guys busy with now?
Lots of stuff. We are looking at, so pre-COVID, we had 37 airlines that flew to Gauteng.
Yeah. Wow.
It went cut down to 29. We trying to get airlines back. We are back up to 32.
Okay.
So
This is SAA, ne?
No, airlines flying to Gauteng.
Oh, to
Airlines.
Gauteng. Okay.
Oh, wow.
International airlines.
Oh, got you.
Oh, wow.
So we want to bring them back because did you know that tourism sector, for every, the tourism sector can create up to 7 jobs. It's a big employer multiplier,
Definitely.
the tourism sector.
I mean, remember Dubai, we were there, and the guy said there that the mineral resources, they no longer really make money from it. It's all tourism. So it's a big revenue generator.
Now they're trying to buy football.
Yes,
Middle
even
East.
Saudi now, Saudi Arabia, because their oil reserves are finishing. So they are all focusing on, that's why the Saudi Arabia, UAE, tourism is big because they realize it's a big generator when their mineral resources deplete.
Taz, thank you so much, man. You've been amazing.
Thank you.
Phenomenal.
I wish all
We'll chill
politicians
with
were like you.
Yeah.
You're the
Someone's
first
scared to
politician
come
to
here.
say shit, yeah?
Dude, yeah.
Okay,
they
can I
can't
tell
even
you
say
why they're
shit.
scared?
Why?
It's because you ask controversial questions. And they all have small and yana skeletons, so they don't want
One
to.
of them.
We just want
They don't want to-
electricity.
They're not sure
That's
what
it.
you're going to ask.
Why? We want to ask, but that's load
But did
shedding.
we
What's
ask
going
you
on?
any controversial
No, you
questions?
didn't. You didn't.
No.
And guess what?
There's controversial stuff about you.
I'm sure.
Oh, dude, where is it?
Ah, do.
Where's the
And you're here making us
controversy?
ask
do not
arguments.
understand.
Do.
I'm a human being. I'm a human being. No, thank you. It's been great. Thank you.
Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please, round of applause for Ty.
How many did you have?
Bye.
He killed the whole case. We are here, man.
Kill
Podcast
Kumalo.
and chill.
Kill the whole case.
Bye.
Hey.
Sure.
Welcome to Black Excellence. Do not fear, for if you do, just sip on some grandeur. And if you still do, ask ourselves, what would Mapapunzi do? Parama chila, itlesha lefiki. Ungoyigi, even if when they ask you, awusabi yini? Do not fear, for if you do, just say, Anistevie. This is the medicine of censorship. This is the pill. Which one is that one? Podcast and chill.